TRT World's defense analyst Oubai Shahbandar joins me now. Oubai, it's 4 years and 9 months to be exact since the announcement of the caliphate. How should we now be thinking about the situation as it is with Daesh's territorial collapse?
Well, this is just one phase in the overall fight. While certainly there's no question that the territorial so-called caliphate has been brought to an end, there remains concerted terror threat in Syria by other terror groups. So the fight may be over on one hand, but we certainly can expect Daesh to maintain sleeper cells, to continue to fight as a guerrilla group in Syria. But now it's ultimately going to be a question on whether or not the Trump administration can leverage what certainly is a political victory for them in being able to declare the fight for Daesh over into something that's sustainable over time. The American public is going to have to ask a very difficult question on whether or not a permanent American military presence in northeastern Syria is ultimately going to be worth it. Washington is saying they're going to maintain a residual force of around 400 soldiers. The question now is, what will their ultimate mission be?
The war in Syria is into a 9th year. It could almost be regarded as a global conflict because so many countries have been involved. More than 50 countries have been involved, dropping a bomb here or there, supplying munitions here or there. But it's been contained geographically to that area of Syria. Now that Daesh has been defeated territorially, what happens to all its foreign fighters? Is there a danger that these guys are going to just cross porous borders, end up in other parts of the world, but having become highly radicalized in Syria, and then continuing a campaign of terror outside of that country?
Well, this is certainly what policymakers have not provided any real answers to this very important question. We have thousands of Daesh fighters, to include Syrian fighters, Iraqi fighters, and European and Central Asian foreign fighters that are currently held by the YPG Kurdish terror group. That's the offshoot of the PKK. Now, they don't have the sufficient facilities that can hold these fighters for a prolonged period of time. And there's no answer from Western European states on whether or not they're going to repatriate some of those foreign fighters. So if you ask me, is there a pathway for Daesh to return? This is probably the most realistic pathway where Daesh can reanimate itself if these fighters are somehow released, if they escape. We've seen this before in 2009 to 2011 in Iraq, major jailbreaks by al-Qaeda in Iraq, the predecessor of Daesh. If this happens again, this is the way that Daesh and its leadership can live to fight another day. No real answer by policymakers in Washington on what the next steps are going to be to prevent that worst-case scenario from happening.
Okay. Oubai, thank you very much indeed for coming in. Oubai Shahbandar, our defense analyst.